Hey, Shai. Now that you've been here for a few days, you've got a chance to sort of feel what this experience is like. What's your impression of the NBA Cup, and what does a team like yours kind of take away from this experience?
Yeah, it's been fun. Obviously, the added stakes to the game gives it a little bit of a different feel. Um, it's good prep for postseason. It's obviously heightened stakes in a regular 82-game season, and it's good to kind of get reps in games that mean a little bit more and have a little more stakes to it. So it's been fun and beneficial for the group for sure.
Rachel, standing in the back left.
You get to prep for a team a little bit longer than in a regular season usual situation. What do you guys noticed as you started looking at film on that? Looking at film on them.
Talented group, obviously. They speak for themselves. They obviously their head of their snake presents its challenges. Now we at the end of the night have to be who we are and have to take the fight to them. I think if we do that, we'll be all right.
Over here on the right.
Hey, what do you think about this neutral court experience? How it's gonna impact the game tomorrow?
The what experience?
The,
sorry?
the neutral court, the neutral.
Oh, neutral.
Thank
Okay.
you. The neutral court.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It gives the game a little bit like of a March Madness feel with the neutral sighting. It's no like home court advantage, but at the end of the night, the better team will win. It's just about focusing on being that.
Tim in the second row here in the center.
Shai, obviously you just had a game against Luka. You've got Giannis here. I know that's not your individual matchup, but how do you approach when you have this kind of a spotlight game against, some of the other guys who are going to be MVP conversation type of players?
To be completely honest with you, I don't differentiate games on who I play against. If we play the worst team in the league, the best team in the league, I'm trying to take their head off. I am trying to be the best version of myself every night I step on the floor. And I think that's why I've been able to grow the way I have as a person and a player, is because every night is an opportunity for me to get better. And whoever stands across that line doesn't change that.
Tim, can you pass it to Joe?
Hey, Shai, there's been a lot of talk about changing the All-Star game to basically like a small tournament format. Would you be, as a two-time All-Star, likely heading there again? Is that something you would support, or do you have anything else you'd like to see them do differently with the All-Star game?
Yeah, if I get a chance to go, obviously it's a blessing. Support whatever they do because it's an honor to be there. But I obviously, with the elephant in the room being us competing, them trying to shake things up is expected and it makes sense. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to whether the players want to go at it. And I would love to see that, love to be a part of that for sure. And hopefully it happens.
Nick up front.
Shai, I think you've been fouled on a three times in the last two games, and as you continue to invest in different parts of the game over your course of your career, are you feeling the gravity that you're creating even changing, week to week or month to month over the course of your career?
Yeah, like I was always taught growing up, like basketball is going to come down to taking what the defense gives you and being a weapon as many times down the court and in as many ways as you can. And that's just what I focused on in my career, summer in, summer out, season in, season out. And it's just been like another hurdle, another stepping stone. Like I just try to be a better version of myself and make sure that the defense has to pay for whatever they try to throw at me. And I've gotten better at that every year, and it's been work paid off.
Richard, neck and left.
Yeah, Shai, ever since I've known you, you've always been different in terms of creating your own wave. In April, you re-signed to Converse. And talk about that, like deciding to make that and also changing that brand. And then also, I saw the new logo. I know how creative you are. Did you create that logo yourself? Because I know you like to draw your artists yourself. So speak about that. And did you create that logo that just dropped with Converse?
Yeah, I try, yeah, like you said, to be like a pioneer. I try to create my own wave on and off the court. Try to just do things my way. Growing up, I was always taught to be a leader, never a follower. So that's kind of instilled in me. And then I did draw the logo, created it myself, and I'm glad the way it came to life for sure.
Next question, the back left, standing. Microphone's coming back.
Hey Shai, what are the biggest life lessons you've learned so far during your career, and especially the lessons you want to share with kids all over the world that see you as an inspiration?
Biggest life lesson, I think. Basketball is a lot like life, and I think I would say, like, what you give to the game will give back to you, and you can't cheat it. Just like life, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a middle school teacher, if you want to be a dentist, whatever you want to be, what you put into it, you'll get out of it. And it's no faking. There's no fooling the universe. It knows. And then for the kids out there, I guess that just leads into working hard. That's what how I've been able to build all of this. It's just working hard and not caring what anybody has to say about me, and doing things my way. Because when it's all said and done, you don't want to have any regrets, no doubts. You want to know that you gave it your all and you did it how you wanted to do it.
Last question, Kevin, sitting in the back left.
KG certified. What's up, Shai? Peace to
doing?
you, God.
Good.
I want to ask you, talk about Hartenstein and what he's added to you guys' team this year.
He's been amazing. Obviously, we lacked a little bit of physicality in the past as a group, and he's been able to plug that hole immediately. And then the little things he does, like his IQ offensively, his passing, his playmaking, his touch around the rim, his screening. He's opened the game up for guys like myself and the rest of the team. And then the most underrated part, I would say, is his unselfishness as a player. Like every night, he doesn't care if he has 20 points, 0 points, if he has 15 rebounds, 0 rebounds. Like as long as we win and he affects it, he's happy. Like there's so many times I've been like I've tried to like get him in a position to score or like help him get in a spot, and he's just like, I don't care. As long as you get open, I'll figure out the rest. And for him to reciprocate that is a cool feeling, and the teammate he is what's been special so far.
Does the reality that you guys are playing for $500,000 tomorrow night? I mean, I know you want to win the game, and you don't play for $500,000 for just but yes, but how much does that really matter? I mean, obviously you're here to win the thing, and just because you're all competitive people, obviously, so anytime there's a competition, you want to do your best at it. But what does the money mean to a lot of guys?
Well, yeah, not everybody gets the same paycheck in the NBA. So, we have guys that are on two-way contracts and, some guys that are fighting to stay in the league. So obviously that money is a bigger deal for some people than, others. So we definitely play for that. Also, we're playing a really good team. So there's a lot of competitive fire, if not more. That means more than obviously making the money, but I like to win. And so obviously it's like a big deal. And we've been saying that the whole time. Like if we're going to go into the cup, we might as well win the whole thing and obviously play good teams while you're doing it. So there's an aspect to that. As a team, this is like kind of like the closest thing that you can get to a playoff environment for the most part throughout the whole season, aside from like a couple games are going to feel like that. So it's like a good like learning moment for us to be able to have a lot of media during, we're having like media before practice. Like we get to like simulate a lot of what's going on during the playoffs, during those stretches, to where we can kind of flex that muscle now and be better on later in the season. So there's a lot more involved than obviously just the money, but Jay Will's been big on the money thing for us. So
Nick in the front.
J-Dub, you've had all sorts of matchups across the league, different positions, playing center. With a guy like Antetokounmpo, you may see quite a bit of time on him tomorrow. What are some keys for you all as you line up that matchup?
Whenever you're guarding really good players, it's not about just one person guarding somebody. It's about a team effort. And that's with anybody. Obviously, he's an extremely good player and kind of like a one-on-one. So, we'll have a good game plan in place. Coaches always do a good job of putting us in the right place, but it's going to come down to, how well as a team do we execute, keeping guys like that at bay. Obviously, they have Damian Lillard too. So just trying to find different ways as a team that we can kind of slow them down will be big for us.
Over here on the right side.
Coach talked about how after the NBA Cup championship game, you guys are going to have a quick turnaround, go from the West Coast over to the East Coast and have to play Orlando and Miami. What kind of mindset change is that going to have for the group and to be able to kind of shift gears back to being back in the regular season and having to play those back-to-back games?
I think the good teams keep the same mindset no matter what the game is. So I think the stakes as far as like prizes and stuff will be higher, but we're still going to be going against another good Orlando team, and we're going to play against a good Miami team. So having that maturity to know that there's not going to be a competitive gear switch, I think will be big for us.
Next question in the center.
You mentioned that this is the closest you can get to like a playoff environment. Having played a couple of NBA Cup games, how close is this to a playoff environment actually?
I think I said this yesterday. It's not Oklahoma playoff environment, but I think just as far as like media and like all the outside noise surrounding the games, I think is a big deal. And I think a lot of the best teams can kind of separate what's going on in the media to actually like playing basketball. So I think that's what I'm saying when I mean it, because it's very hard, if not impossible, to actually replicate, wearing the same jersey throughout the whole entire arena like Oklahoma does. So.
Anyone with a final question? Let's go in the back there. Let's go, KG.
KG certified. What's up, Doug?
What up?
Do you like that it's in Vegas? You mind that it's in Vegas?
I think it's good. I think obviously the NBA is trying to have a team here, so I think the crowd's been pretty cool. But yeah, Vegas I think can have an NBA team, so I think it's cool. Like this is like a little like test run into like how successful it will be.
Are you a Vegas man?
I'm not at all.
Great answer.
I've been coming here since I was like 6 for like AAU tournaments and stuff. So I've been here forever. So not the biggest fan. Too much stuff going on.
Gotcha. Good luck tonight, man.
Appreciate it.
Good luck tomorrow.
In 10 years, and I guess what does it mean for you to be part of the early history of the Cup?
Until it grows, I mean, it's good. It's good for the league. It's good for the players. It's always nice to come to Vegas in the middle of the season. So, hopefully it keeps growing.
Thank you.
Glad to be here right now, especially to have a chance to win it. And
Should it stay in Vegas, or do you like the idea that maybe it goes to like the end market, like having a final in OKC or something like that?
I love it to be in OKC, for sure. But I don't know. It's not up to me. Whatever the league decide, we'll be there and ready to go.
Lou, obviously this was all new for you guys coming in and playing in this game the other night. How nice is it to have that experience now, knowing that you're going to be playing for that?
It's good. I mean, it really kind of felt like, our first playoff game. When it's kind of rough. Everybody's playing really, really hard. They really wants it, and then it starts to get going defensively. But it's always good to experience those type of games, so you know what to do whenever it happens again.
You're going up against Milwaukee, a team you haven't faced yet this season. Just how different is that going up against them?
That'll be different. It's a pretty good team. They really turned their season around, and they're playing really well right now. So. Yeah, we just got to go out there and compete. It's going to be a really big challenge for us, especially the fact that we haven't seen them so far this season. But, they got some pretty good players out there. So, we just got to be ready to go.
Lou, how was it with single elimination basketball? I mean, you played it with Team Canada, right? It was that one game and you're out type of mentality. How does that work in this NBA Cup?
It's really tough. I mean, you really got to go out there and then, really stack possession. Not allowed to have that many mistakes. And, you never know what can happen in one game. So those are the toughest ones. I got the experience in the summertime. If you don't come with your A game, you never know what can happen. So you just got to be ready to go out there.
Hey, Lou, how does this?
You're the number one team in the West. But be honest, how much do you miss a New York City slice?
I mean, I eat pretty healthy, so I mean, that was probably my cheat day out there with probably a New York slice. So it's a little bit, but yeah, I'm here right now.
But Oklahoma pizza and New York City pizza.
I have a chef, so I eat whatever he makes me. So it's OKC's food's been great.
Good answer. Good answer. Appreciate it.
Isaiah, you guys got the experience of this whole new environment playing in Vegas the other night. Just how valuable was that, and how valuable is it moving forward going into tomorrow?
It was big. I mean, I think for us, it was another opportunity to play an important game, to play kind of in different atmosphere. And so I think it was another opportunity for us to build the right habits, keep building as a team. And I think that's always our main thing. It's just whatever game we're going into, we're trying to keep getting better, keep building the right habits for when it really matters.
Isaiah, you mentioned the other day that, being from overseas, you've seen like variations of cups and stuff, and what that means out there. Knowing that you're a part of this early history of this one, I imagine they hope 10 years down the line it has similar history to others. Like, what does that mean to you, being part of the early history of this?
It means a lot. I mean, I think the NBA did a great job of putting something together in the middle of the season, what kind of gives us more of a incentive, kind of something more important in the middle of the season. So I think the NBA did a great job. Again, knowing from overseas how much it meant to us playing in it, I think it kind of has the same value right now. I think over time, history will definitely build on it.
What do you think is the best thing about the Thunder and how to try to stop this?
The best thing about the Thunder?
Yeah.
I think that we're a team. I think that's the biggest thing. I think we're on both ends of the court. We play together. No one takes plays off. I mean, it starts with Shai and Dub. I mean, if you have your two best players on the team playing on both sides of the court, this makes everyone's life easier.
Obviously, all of this was new to you guys a couple nights ago. What was that experience like, and how helpful is that going into tomorrow, having that?
It was a good experience, though. It was definitely a different environment.
Yeah.
A little bit of an adjustment period early, but once we got settled in, we started playing our brand of basketball, and it was nice. We got fans from both sides going against each other, so it's just competitive all the way around.
How important is it for a young group like this to play in these sort of elevated games at this portion of the season?
I think it kind of gives you like a small taste of what it's like in postseason. Environment's a little bit different. Intensity's heightened. Everybody's out there, a little bit more aggressive than normal. Really just gotta learn how to focus and key in on all the little things, while all that what's on the outside is, in the way as well. So I think it's good for us.
What are you learning about your group and this group as a whole, playing in this, just completely different environment?
Yeah, how I think, first off is like how we can adjust to playing in a different environment, playing, different intensity, how we continue to play together, through adversity. And that's something that we had overcome last game.
You guys got the best defense in the league, but they got one of the most disruptive players all kind. How do you defend this? What's like the scheme plan for him? Giannis, of course.
We got to guard them with all five. We can't leave anybody out on the island. But with that being said, everybody has to take it upon themselves to, win their matchup and go out and be gritty for 48 minutes. And I think, with the guys that we have, it'll be a good recipe for that.
So switches? You're going to switch a lot?
I'm going to throw a few different things at them. I can't, say exactly how we're gonna do it as of right now. But I mean, we're a versatile team. And one thing we've always predicated ourselves on is being versatile and being able to make changes on the fly and all that. So we're definitely gonna throw out a lot of different looks and just see what works best.
Dub said y'all call Lou big. Lou didn't seem like he was rocking it.
Yeah, he wasn't rocking with it? Yeah.
You still gonna call him?
I don't call him. I just call him Lou. I mean, everybody knows what he does. What he does.
Oh, basketball reference. Your nickname is Broken Jones. They don't say nobody calls you.
Nobody calls
Where
me
did that come from?
I don't know where that came from. Nobody calls me that. I think that's just something that somebody saw on social media and ran with it. I've never heard somebody yell that out or.
That's great.
Yeah, we can move on from that one. So you go. Yeah, nah.
Speaking of Lou, obviously had a pretty big game the other night. And the play of the game, I felt like, was him diving on the floor for that loose ball, kicked it out to Cason. Just what did he bring energy-wise to both ends of the floor yesterday?
Oh man, his energy was next level. I think he was person that kind of got us, kicked off. Just being able to dive on the floor like that for a loose ball that then it looked like it was in our favor, and just, it just shows, how aggressive, how determined it is.
Thank you, Isaiah.
Yeah, I mean, he always making the right play. He's gonna play as hard as he can, so that's always good.
Okay, my last one's gonna be all about defense because you have to stop Giannis and Damian, and they have to stop all Utah. Who's gonna win? Who plays better defense?
Yeah, defense comes down to it. Is always obviously a big part of it.
Thank you so much.
Cason, obviously this was an entirely new experience for you guys coming into this environment. Just what did you guys learn from that first game that you can take with you now?
That is gonna be a whole 48-minute game. We started off pretty slow and really put the ball in the hole, but if we stick with it and keep guarding and keep playing, eventually the ball will go in and we'll get it.
Okay, so I feel like this team's never really lacked confidence. You've never really lacked confidence. But how was this NBA Cup run, the early successes this season, kind of coach y'all's confidence?
Like you said, nobody on this team lacks confidence, so that's a good thing for us. Even though like last game our shots aren't falling, we still know that any given night we'll knock those down. So I feel like it helps us going into the next game.
Cason, a lot of leaders in the team, in other teams are vet or even older players, but in such a younger team that you have Shai and Jalen, or like basically peers, and how you guys feel about it, having such a young leader in the locker room and on the court?
I feel like it's good because we all kind of are going through the same things together, so we can ask each other questions or even just go through them together. So I feel like it's a good thing for us.
Cason, I feel like the play of the game the other night was when Lou dove on the floor, just kind of full out for that ball and got it out to you, and you finished it on the other end. Can you take me through your perspective of that play and then just what Lou brought to the game in general that night?
My point of view, I see Lou dive on the floor and fell on the ball. Like, dang, they got hurt first or anything. And, like, all right, I'll run out now. And he threw the ball, went and dunked it. And I was like, okay. It's time to bring some more energy. Like, I feel like that'll open us up.
I feel like people get nervous for like a lot less than this. They fold in lesser situations than the NBA Cup. What's kind of your mental preparation like in facing those theaters before these big games?
For me, I think that having those nerves are a good thing. Everybody should feel like ready. That means you want to go out there and do your best. So my nerves don't really come out until we jump ball.
What will be the number one thing that you guys align following practice or try to carry on to tomorrow's game?
I don't know yet. We haven't got there, but if it was to me, I'd say it's our energy. How much energy and our compete level is going to dictate the game.
Anything else? Thanks, Cason.
Thank you, Cason.
Hey, I also work on ESPN, and I want to tell you that we call you when I do the play-by-play, the Caruso.
Nice. Yeah,
Nice.
I've heard that for a couple of years now. That's a good one.
Because in Latin America, I don't know why everybody loves you.
Yeah,
You play.
I don't know. I seem to have some attention. People like the way I play the game, I guess.
Maybe you remind another Latin American guys like Ginobili and all that stuff. The way you play, the energy, and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, that's a big compliment to me because I was a Manu fan growing up. He's Hall of Famer.
I read that. Okay, how's your feeling for tomorrow? 24 hours. Anxious, nervous, relaxed?
No, I'm excited, man. This is what you start the year. You talk about getting out of the group stage and playing for the NBA Cup. Like this is what you want to be in. You want to be in the big game. You want to have a chance to win it all, and then go back home and get on with the season. That's why we're here.
Okay, my last one quickly. What's going to be more difficult, stop Giannis and Damian, or for them to stop Shai and you?
That's a loaded question. That's a tough ask either way because all three of those people you just said, including our team, phenomenal players, phenomenal team. So obviously it's gonna be tough stopping Damian Giannis. I played against him a couple times over the last year or so. I know how good they are and how good they can be if you let them get comfortable. But we got a pretty good guy on our side too.
Alex, I couldn't help but notice KV walking with you. I can tell on just how how dope is that, man?
Yeah, that's sick, man. I remember going up to him and introducing myself when I played in LA for the first time, and I just told him like how much a fan I was of him and how I watched him growing up, and like the intensity he played with was something that I admired and kind of helped shape my game. So yeah, being able to just have a conversation with him was super dope.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have a lot of KD types on this team. I don't know if there are KD types in the league.
Yeah, that's one-on-one.
Yeah, but the other night, after Cason rushed up with Sengun, a lot of guys and were just saying the goal is to not get punked, and the Rockets kind of put you in a situation where you have to stand your ground. Obviously, this team is not super loud about like the aggressiveness. You know, you guys are not necessarily bullies. How do you what do you do to uphold the brand around the team without being necessarily loud about it?
Yeah, I think a lot of that just is the narrative. Like, we're a young team, you know. Like, a lot of times in the league, you gotta earn your stripes. You really don't get given anything; like, you have to earn it. So, for whatever reason, you know, it's Houston shtick. Like, they're trying to become like the super aggressive, like physical team. But we're a pretty physical and aggressive team in our own right. You know, just creating turnovers and playing strong defensively. So, for us, you know, it's not about how loud you are. It's about getting the job done and being effective in it, and I think that's something we do.
And Kenrich was right here saying that Mark showed you guys a clip of Cason and Sengun State today. Why? What was that about?
Yeah, it's just about reinforcing principles. Like, anytime there's some type of action like that, we want to have 5 in the picture, and I was a little late, but I got in there and got the 5th guy in. But, you know, same thing, guy goes down, teammates run over and pick him up. Like, there's a togetherness aspect that goes into it.
You've played in a lot of playoff games. How does this experience in the NBA Cup kind of compare to any of those experiences?
Yeah, in relation to like the media aspect and the, you know, like win or go home. Like, I haven't played in a game 7, but like the feeling of like, you know, you lose a series and you're done for the year. There is that here. Obviously, the neutral site. It makes it a little different because, you know, you play home or away, and there's a little more of an atmosphere for that. But as far as like, you know, having an important game that means something and playing for something, that's definitely there.
What did you guys take away, just as a team in general, a young team going through this experience for the first time on Saturday? Just what was that? How valuable was that for you all?
Yeah, it's a great exposure for us to, you know, playing more games and more opportunities for big games and important moments that we want to be in at the end of the year, and that's something for us that, you know, we talked about last in film session. Was like the game the other night kind of started off like game 1 of Pelican series last year, where it was kind of gross game in the mud early, and then, you know, sticking to the principles and the habits that we want to be about, and then finding a way to win the game. And so just building on that and trying to use all these experiences to help sharpen.
You go up against Milwaukee, a team that you guys haven't played this season, but you have pretty good familiar with. Just what's key going up against a team like that?
Yeah, obviously the Dame and Giannis thing is glaring. Those are, you know, probably 2 Hall of Famers that, you know, their skill and their accolades speak for themselves, but they do a good job of spacing them around with shooters. They have inside paint presence. Brooks has been one of the top shot blockers in the league for the last couple of years. So I think for us, it's just trying to influence the game in the way we want to play. You know, I think when we are able to influence the game and play the way that we want to play, we have a lot of success. This year. When we don't, the game's kind of a toss-up.
Thanks. Question: who's the best Williams on the team?
Are you interviewing them right now?
I love it. Too many Williams, and all good.
Yes, sir. All good.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, how's your focus previous 24 hours before the final?
Focus is good. Just happy to be here. Blessed to be here, and able to soak it all in right now, and hopefully have a good turnout tomorrow.
I was asking all the guys the game plan for both teams. For you, stop Giannis first. For them, stop Shai.
Right.
Okay, it's all about defense?
Yeah, that's what the game is about, man. It's about defense. Defense is going to win games for us, and that's what we're going to need tomorrow.
Okay, and what about the perimeter side? Daigneault, Lillard, and all that stuff. I mean, you're a very good defense, the best one. They have to. I don't say they have to be fear about that, but they have to resolve the problem.
Yeah, we know Dame is one of those guys that you can't go on. You know, has a lot of respect in the league, future Hall of Famer. So it's going to be a challenge for both Dame and Giannis, but got to be able to slow those guys down with all five. Thank you.
Marcus, obviously, you don't see these guys often, but last time you didn't have Hartenstein, you didn't have Caruso. Just what did they change about your defense of Giannis and the Bucks in general?
Yeah, it's a whole new season, like you said. We got new guys. It's gonna be a different game plan. So, yeah, it's gonna be tough to slow them down. But we're gonna have to do it all five, and so I trust the guys. Every one of the guys gonna have to step up and take the challenge.
Kenrich, obviously this entire experience was brand new for you guys just 48 hours ago. What did you learn from that first game that was kind of helpful going into tomorrow?
I think it's pretty fun. It's a pretty unique experience. I think that this atmosphere is a little different because you're not playing at home or you're not playing away. So I think the biggest thing that we had to kind of realize was we had to create our own energy. Yeah, that's probably the most thing I took away.
Mark has been using you as a small ball center even when other teams are going big. Just like your thoughts on like playing against a guy like Steven Adams the other night.
Man, tough, man. It was tough. A guy like that is super strong, man. So it's not a lot I can do. Offensively, I can use my quickness to an advantage, my versatility to an advantage, and just pray that I can muscle with those guys down there.
Hey, we're talking like this team's never been shy. I feel like it's always been confident bunch of guys. But how does this NBA Cup run kind of like help, but still the youngest team in the league feel more confident?
Yeah, I think it's helped a lot, man. It's helped a lot. We're taking this very seriously, and one thing that I'll be reiterating is we kind of want to build a muscle for where we want to be later on in the season, and that's a deep run in the playoffs and hopefully the finals. So, like you said, we got a confident group, and we're just ready to quit.
I was thinking, end of that game the other night, Cason got into it with Sengun, whatever that was. He stood his ground. A few of the guys after the game were just saying that generally they don't want to get punked. Like that's the goal is to not be punked. And obviously you guys are never like the aggressor in that you're not trying to bully teams, but there is a level of toughness. Like how internally are you guys trying to uphold that level of toughness without being loud about it?
Yeah, we're proud of ourselves on having high character guys on the team. We also pride ourselves on never backing down. So if an instance like that, I was happy for Cason, his first scuffle, as you can say. But he didn't back down, and we're doing that. And Coach, he showed a clip today, just having all five there together, so that way teams see that we're a group that plays together and has to tussle together.
You said Mark showed you the clip. What do you mean?
Show the clip, the tussle, having all five together, like being together in the moment, and it showed up.
With that being together, Bobby Portis was talking about you guys on defensive end and you guys are always connected, and no matter who comes into the game. What's the key to making sure you guys never lose a guy in those games?
I think just sticking to the game plan. They set a game plan out for us, the coaches. They do a good job of studying film. We do as well, and it's about sticking to that game plan and sticking to what we do, man. And that's playing defense, being scrappy, and taking the game to another level.
Last question.
You have thoughts on the schedule? You guys, obviously, they're fitting this tournament in. Only two teams make the final. But you guys have back-to-back Thursday, Friday this week. You have just thoughts on generally how they've scheduled this tournament?
I miss my babies. That's it. But it's basketball. That's what we signed up for. We're all professionals, so at the end of the day, our job is to be ready to play, no matter what game or no matter what time, no matter what game.
Thanks, Kenrich.
Thanks.
Mark, this obviously the NBA Cup kind of exists between the regular season and the playoffs. With the extra day in between the semifinal and final, how much more kind of attention to a game plan can you put in compared to a normal regular season game?
We a little more, but it's an early game tomorrow. You know, we're not having a formal shoot around, so really not a ton. And we're still in the mode of improving and kind of building our muscle systematically. And this is not a departure from that. And we think that that also gives us the best chance to win the game. So we're really not changing our preparation very much because we think our preparation is sufficient as is.
Joe in the middle.
A real quick one about health. Is everybody able to practice today that you would normally?
Yep.
Okay. And then as the coach for the #1 team in the West, if this continues, you will likely be involved in All-Star Weekend. We don't exactly know what that's going to look like yet in terms of how the games look, but is there anything that you would like to see change about the All-Star Weekend, or just sort of how you would do it, since they're going to change again anyway?
Among people qualified to weigh in on that, I'm very far down the list, so I'm just going to abstain.
So long.
I don't cut people off.
We'll go Nick in the front left.
Mark, you haven't seen Milwaukee yet this year, but over the last few years, it's felt like coming out of those games, you felt like those matchups were really good for this team in terms of some takeaways against just how hard they played, how physical they played. What do you want to see out of this group, just based off of maybe how you've played against them and how they've played against you in the past?
Yeah, this is a great test for us. The game, we played them late in the year last year on the road, and they really took it to us. And it was a great game for us because we had been having a great season to that point, and we ran up against a team that was really ready to take it to us, and they did. Physically mauled us, played with way more edge that night, and it was a good, it was like water in the face for us. I thought it really informed us at the level of physicality, focus, everything you need to win against a good team. They exposed on that particular night, and it made us better. And again, we're focused. We have 70% of the season left, so we're focused on continuing to grow. But testing yourself against a team that's playing as well as they are, that's as capable as they are, will help us one way or the other. If we clear the hurdle, we'll have earned it, and if we don't, we'll learn about ourselves. And that's why playing in games like this is very valuable.
Next question in the center.
Hi. Do you know what winning the NBA Cup would mean to you and your team if it were to happen?
It hasn't happened, so I don't know. Again, I'm more focused on the growth of the team with 70% of the season left. And with the age of our team, we're not a finished product, and we have a lot we can improve on and a lot we have to sustain if we want to be a good team. And this is a great challenge. It's an elevated situation with a lot of distractions and a lot of noise around it against a very good team. So it's a great test and a great challenge to kind of figure out where we are and how we play in this type of situation. And we're going to learn from it one way or the other. But I don't know otherwise.
Front left.
Hey, Coach. Wanted to ask you about defense. You have a lot of guards that can play on the island and play one-on-one defense on players. And I just want to ask you more so, especially with this newer era generation, focus a lot on offense. What can you say about players using the defensive end to get on the court, especially like a guy like Cason, who's really playing and showing that he can play on the floor, and then it helps him showcase his offensive ability too?
Well, the league's never been more skilled, dynamic. The offenses have never been more efficient. The shooting's never been more capable across the league. I think the numbers would support that. That obviously gets a lot of attention, but basketball is a game that 50% of the game is played on offense and the other half is played on defense. And the attention doesn't always reflect that, but there's two sides to that coin. So if the league is as skilled as it is, if the shooting's as good as it is, if the players are as good as they are, the ability to guard that becomes paramount. That's the flip side of the coin. And we've got guys that not only are capable, but they are committed to it, and they're competitive, and they understand the value of it to team success. And it's been a huge strength of our team to this point.
Back here on the right side.
Coach,
You talked about there's 70% of the season left, and both the Lakers and the Pacers last year kind of went off to slow starts after the NBA Cup. So how are you balancing, making sure your team is able to win tonight or does its best tonight with, knowing that you play in 2 days against the Heat and the rest of the season's coming up?
Well, we want to win. This is an opportunity to win, and it's an opportunity to compete, and we're going to be very present in that. There's no other way to be. And so we're not getting ahead of ourselves with that. But it will be a challenge coming out of it for both teams. We're coming off of, we're basically on a 6-day West Coast road trip right now. And our next game coming out of this is 3 time zones away, 4-hour flight to Orlando, and then a back-to-back against Miami, which, if you look at that as a road trip, is an unprecedented road trip. I mean, the NBA would never schedule that. They would never put a team on a 6-day West Coast road trip and then fly them east for a back-to-back. And so, this is a great challenge for us. We're excited about it, but it will present challenges, on the other side, but we'll handle those when we're there.
Last 2 questions on the left side, and then Tim here.
Mark, does your familiarity with Dame as a Blazer, being in the division with him, the number of times you saw him, benefit you facing him in a Bucks uniform tomorrow?
To a degree. I mean, there's kind of 2 parts to every game plan. There's the individual player, and those guys have habits and they have strengths, and you can learn them. And we've obviously got some familiarity with him from his time there. But then there's, those skills inside the ecosystem that they're in now. And, they're a different animal with him combined with the other guys, on their team, especially with Giannis, and those 2 guys in a pick and roll, presents like a completely different challenge. And so a little bit, but, they're different when they change teams and change systems, change teammates, that sort of thing.
Shai's obviously emerged as one of the league's marquee stars over these last couple of years. How do you see him responding to these type of opportunities, these type of games where clearly there's a brighter spotlight?
He's always the coolest guy in the room. It doesn't matter what room he's in. He's the coolest guy in the room. So, so I've seen him respond. What's impressive to me about him, aside from what everybody can see on the surface, is just the defense. First of all, he continues to play on that end of the floor with great commitment, despite, being obviously a great offensive player. And then the ascension of his teammates, which isn't, a given with a great player like that. Sometimes their greatness and their gravity can bite into the hole, but his teammates have been able to ascend despite his ascension. And so guys like Jalen, guys like Chet, those guys, it hasn't stopped them from becoming, great players in their own right. And then guys like Isaiah Joe, Wiggins, Jay Will, role players have maximized themselves. And I think those 2 things on this stage, I think, go a little bit overlooked, just overshadowed by his greatness on offense. But to answer your question, he's the coolest guy in the room.